little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, wear a hat, sometimes play chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling.
Bonjour, hello, it's Janice in France. Thank you for joining me today. And yes, that title is correct. We are going to have an episode, a little interview with Marie-Anne Lecoeur. And I cannot believe she took out the time to spend with me. In fact, we had to cancel the first one because I couldn't get my Zoom to work. And she helped me out with the Zoom meeting the second time, and it was awesome. I mean, she's just an awesome lady. Before I came to France, I found her on YouTube. And she really is the reason that I knew what to keep and what not to keep when I moved to France. And she gives you an idea in her courses and in her books, and she tells you how to get that je ne sais quoi. And one of the things I learned from her is this. One of the things that French people put together so well, they wear something masculine and something feminine. So you don't all have to be, all prim and proper feminine. You could also wear like the leather jacket that was masculine, and you could wear pants, they're kind of masculine, and those black boots I had on, if I wanted to elevate it, I would have worn boots with heels. That would have taken care of it right there. So that gives you more of a feminine look. And I remember her talking about that, and I remember her saying, use your items over and over again. You can put a tweak here and a tweak there, just like the little black skirt that you saw over there. That's from Amazon. The black sweater is Lily Silk, and I waited until I found an influencer that had a great discount. So that's how I was able to buy that. But that's one of the things I want to work on this year in 2025. I want to work with other stores. I want to work with stores that will say, okay, this is okay for the more mature woman. Yeah. We don't have to buy everything at certain stores, which I won't mention, just because they're for the more mature. I have fallen in love with this store called Cézanne in Paris. And there are all kinds of different clothes for the more mature woman. They just don't show you those in the models. So that's one of my goals this year. I want to get with people that say, okay, we know there's a big group of you ladies out there and you want to buy clothes and you want to look great, and we're going to sell and we're going to focus toward you. That's my goal this year, because everything I've shown you can be worn by mature women. Now, the only thing I didn't wear to elevate the skirt and the Lily silk black sweater, I didn't wear heels on my boots because I don't own heels on black boots. I have the flat back boots. I have flat black boots. Try to say that 3 times. Anyway, because I don't wear heels, but I could have worn another pair of shoes. I could have worn a pair of black shoes and elevated it if I wanted to. And that's one of the things that I've learned from Marie-Anne Lecoeur is you can take your classics, mix and match, and you can have a wardrobe that will last you for quite a long time. Now, you will have to pay a little bit more money for some of these classics, but look at my outfit here. I've just got a gorgeous cashmere. It came from Amazon. I won't wear it that much, so it will last. And I know this doesn't make sense to you, and it doesn't make sense to most men, but you know what? If you have several shoes, like about 10 or 12 shoes or whatever in your closet, and you're mixing and matching all the time, you don't wear them out. You don't need to buy new shoes all the time. I bought brown boots this year because I didn't have any brown boots. So I bought brown boots, but I didn't buy any other shoes. And the sneakers that I've had them for quite some time. I put some stiff cardboard in my sneakers, and then I soaked them all up, and they look brand new. And that hard cardboard keeps their shape. So therefore, my sneakers look like they're new. They don't look like they're worn out. Because if I'm wearing a nice outfit with sneakers, I want it to all look alike. So I hope you enjoyed my little bit of fashion show, and I hope you enjoy my conversation with Marie-Anne Lecoeur. And oh my goodness, she's just wonderful. Thank you for joining me today. So, first of all, I want to tell my audience that the way I met you. When I decided to move to France, I thought, okay, we are going to learn how to dress like they do in the French area, so I started trying to find, and I found the chic way to dress by finding you. And I got such a kick out of what you would say, because I'm going like, that's how I dress. That's exactly how I dress. But there were a few items I went out and bought. I went out and bought snake sandals, snake heels, and then what do you call the blue and white stripe that goes across the top?
A breton top, une marinière?
Yes. I bought that too. And I thought, okay, I am now. And then you said not to wear anything that says I love Paris or I love London or anything like that. And so I adhered to everything you said. And I have been following you going on now almost 3 years. I know I'm probably not the longest follower, but I have been following you. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be interviewed by me. It's really an honor. Thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you very much, Janice, for inviting me.
Okay, I want to ask you something, because obviously you speak English and obviously you have a French accent. Now, you were born where? Paris?
I was born just north of Paris, about 60 kilometers.
And where did you learn your English?
So I lived in France. So I was born in France and lived in France until I was 20 and a half. And then I left for Great Britain in a little island called Jersey, the island of Jersey, close to France, because that's where I had my boyfriend, who was And then I lived in Jersey for about 30 years. Got married, had 2 children.
Okay.
So this is why I can speak English. I'm bilingual.
Well, that's fabulous. But you didn't learn it in school.
I learned it in school, yes. I studied languages in school. I studied German and Spanish and English.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
But you didn't study fashion or marketing? This just has come to you easily, or did you have some influence growing up?
Well, there was a heavy influence in growing up in France, because the fashion industry was so huge in France. It was the main place. Paris was the main place for fashion for decades. And so we really, fashion has a really important place in France, such as just like food, really. It's very important to us. So I grew up obviously surrounded by French women, my mother, my relatives, and neighbors and friends and all sorts. So I was heavily influenced, of course, growing up, and you get advice given to you by the sales ladies and also, by your mother or your friends. Oh, you're not going to wear this, or oh yes, wear this, wear that, because
yes, I know.
Yes. So this is what I emphasize in my teachings and my books and my courses. Not only the advice that we get in France in order to look better, but also the why and the background also of why we wear certain things and not other things, and the guidelines are where to go shopping, etc. So that's makes it quite interesting, I think.
So tell me about, you just mentioned your books in your class. Tell me a little bit about that because my viewers probably will be very interested.
Sorry about the question.
Tell me about your books and your classes that you offer because I know my followers will be very interested in hearing about this because I really am interested in the background of why you do dress a certain way.
Yes, so I started with my first book in 2011. I sat down one afternoon during my birthday holiday and I started writing. And I always wanted to start a book. So I wrote my book, which became a book, an Amazon #1
Oh my
bestseller.
God. Wow.
It's called How to Be Chic and Elegant, Tips from a French Woman. And in there are 240 odd tips. And I explain, so some are longer than others. And it's all about how dressing chic, dressing elegant, dressing for your body shape. It's about colors, it's about elegance, it's about so many things. But it's really condensed book. So this one became a bestseller, which gave me the boost I needed without knowing it, actually, to start my fashion business because I've always been an entrepreneur all my life. I started selling makeup in my teens at school.
Okay.
For Avon, would you believe?
Yes.
So I always wanted to do to sell something, especially fashion and beauty. So, and then my second book was How to Be Chic and Elegance plus size, and then I did the Pay Shape, and then another bestseller, a black horse, so to speak. It is the Tidy Closet. This one as well was one of.
Oh, I love that one. Love that one.
It is very good book, very good. So it's got tips and guidelines, how to step by step, motivation to declutter the closet. And then I started doing actually I created one course. It was a motivational course. It was a motivational course about decluttering. Again, it was the Excuse Blaster Challenge. It was no ifs, no buts. You are going to declutter your closet. So, highly motivating.
I love it.
It was so popular. People loved it. And then I started creating my French Chic Academy, where I created one course every 2 weeks for my students of the academy. So I've got courses on colors, on prints, on classics, on the closet, on body shapes, on everything. I can't even remember.
Wow, that's great. You cover it all.
Yes, and now, of course, also I'm still on YouTube because I started my YouTube channel in end of 2011. But then it was not the beast that it is now. In those days, you just did a video and hope that somebody would watch it. But now it's a huge beast. YouTube, I call it a beast because it's really powerful.
Yes, it can be. And I don't know about you, but when you started growing and you came to a part that you couldn't grow anymore, did you stress out about it, or was that okay with you?
No, I don't stress about it, and I try to stress less and less actually. Okay. But at the moment, I am into an expansion. I'm expanding my business in that I want to reach even more women because my advice is so profound and really it reaches so many women in such deep ways. It changes not only their style, but their lives. I get so many emails and messages from women from across the world who tell me, "Thank you, Marie-Anne, you have changed my life." And many of the women my dear French ladies, I call them, many of them have suffered tremendous hardships, whether in becoming widowed or battling various illnesses.
Right.
And many are retired, many are empty nesters, that kind of thing. They had to move countries or cities or something. So they've got the big change, also the menopausal change as well. All this creates such an upheaval. And I find that many women lose themselves in their style, but also in their lives, many areas of their lives. And they found that, they tell me that through finding me, they suddenly felt so much better, they were motivated, the confidence, rose, and they found they had something else to think about and to devote to other than their hardships.
Right.
So
Well,
they felt better.
Even just decluttering your closet for someone that is going through a grief or the illness, like you said about, and people that are trying to find their way in life, or people that are having to move or whatever, but just being able to declutter your closet. And it's like, if you can declutter that, it's like a sigh of relief. You've just decluttered some items in your head.
Well, exactly. Decluttering is something everybody needs to do, not just the closet, but maybe just a start. But
right.
Declutter your closet, and you declutter every room in your home, but you start to declutter every areas of your life.
Right.
And not only physically you feel this relief, as you just said, Janice, but also emotionally.
Right.
I call it the weeding. When I'm weeding in the garden, I think of the decluttering. When you
absolutely, yes, I didn't think of it like that.
Exactly. And for instance, the weeding in your closet brings out all the beautiful things, like in the garden, so then you can see the roses and beautiful flowers because they're not hidden behind the weeds.
Well, that's right. And, we as Americans, I remember watching one of your videos. I think it was last year, maybe the year before, but you were talking about the difference between French women and Americans and how we shop. And when we shop, we come home with 8 bags. And when the French woman shops, she may come home with 2, but these bags are items that she's been having her eye on, that she's been focusing on, she's been saving her money for. She's not just haphazardly going shopping. Is that correct?
Totally correct. And I may say, even sometimes we come back with nothing.
Yes. And that is just not acceptable for me in America. I have to come back with something. It's like going on a vacation. You have to come back with some kind of trinket. But you're right. We sometimes just go shopping and we mindlessly pick this up and pick that up. And when we get home, we think, or I've done it before, I've got home and I think, I have nothing to wear with that blouse. I have nothing to wear with those slacks. So now I've got to go back out and buy more. So had I decluttered and had I paid attention to what I had and what I wear and what I don't want anymore before I came to France, if I had not worn it in 2 years, it went to Goodwill. I mean, it just went to other people. But you're right. You just have to declutter because, and of course, I think you're very, well, one thing, in France, they don't have the credit cards like we do in the States.
No, we usually have one credit card.
Yeah, right. And we have 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever, and I think that's the big difference. And you just answered my next question that I had for you about your reward that you get from being with these women and writing and, being able to discuss these items. And you've got to feel great about yourself when you do this. No wonder that keeps you going, right?
Exactly. People are so interested in fashion, even men in France, and they can even give you not some advice, but I mean a comment. Oh, that's nice. So
right,
since you and they have something to add as well. So it's not just women. I mean, it's everybody. We are really into it.
Now, okay, let me ask you a question. Because of who you are, when you are in your town, and let's say you're going to the grocery store, do you pay any attention any more of what you have on than you used to 10 years ago?
No, I always look at what I'm wearing.
Okay.
Oh yes, I would never. I mean, in France, you would never think of wearing, for instance, jog pants or ripped trousers. Those ripped jeans had been a
Or
trend.
pajamas like they do in the States to
Pajamas.
Walmart.
Oh, pajamas.
Yes.
When you're sick.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. People go early in the morning to the grocery store, whatever, and they have their bottom of their pajamas on and some kind of sweatshirt. And trust me, I can even say for me, when I go into my little town, I always have lipstick on and my hair's brushed. I may not have full makeup on, but I have that lipstick on.
Yes.
And that's the first thing I do in the morning. I put my cream on and my lipstick on. And that's just how I've adapted. And it really has a lot to do with you and watching you and your videos.
Oh, thank you.
You inspired me so much. And not that I was the person that did the pajamas. I have to tell you, I did not. I never did that. But I've always dressed well. Even when I taught school, people would say things to me about, well, why do you dress up? Well, because number one, that's me. And number two, I want the children to know that I'm just not here for a second job. I'm here. I'm business. This is a business. And I want them to know, I want them to look and aspire to be better and to look better and, that kind of thing. And it doesn't have a lot to do. You don't have to have a lot of money. And I think that's one thing I've learned from you. You don't have to have a lot of money.
Exactly. Because, everybody knows now that you have many price range for every piece now, because it starts from the high fashion, from the catwalks, and the fashion is kind of copied, if you like, into various price points, and it trickles down all the way to the very, very low priced items. So even though you have a very, very low budget, you can buy something that may not be the highest quality,
right?
But you have something that looks good. And as your budget grows, then you can go up to the next tier of quality. So, there's a price point, and you can look good whether you spend a lot of money or whether you don't spend that much money. And the opposite is true. You may look very good wearing low price pieces, as you can look very bad wearing very expensive.
That's true.
We all know that.
That's right. Yeah. So, okay. So you don't worry about what you wear because you've always dressed like that. So I have a quick question just to ask you, if you were to choose a movie or of an actor that expresses her fashion, her way that you say, yes, that is a chic woman right there. What do you think? What comes to mind?
Actually, there is not one movie that can think of it at the top of my head, but actually more of the actresses themselves. For instance, I have role models or icons. I can think of Grace Kelly.
Yes.
I think even of Marilyn Monroe. She has some cases where, for instance,
beautiful,
yeah. Audrey Hepburn, Katharine Hepburn. These women, Jackie Onassis. She's not an actress, but we all know those ladies where wherever they went, they looked amazing. And I think even now they are still remembered for that, for their chic, for their style, whether, they all had an individual style, but something from them we remember, and they looked amazing. Amazing.
Well, the women that you just mentioned, I imagine all of us, as soon as you mentioned that name, could have a flash of what they're wearing. Now, Audrey Hepburn, I can think of black, and I can think of a little pillbox hat. And when you think of Marilyn Monroe, she had an hourglass figure. She was not a size 2, and then of course Grace Kelly, but I think one thing that they had more than just looking good, they had that, and what you try to instill in women is the confidence.
Yes.
And like you said, you don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to have a great deal of money, but you can still look good.
Exactly. And what I like to teach the French chic style is like it works from the inside out and outside in. So from the inside out, when you, if you feel good, you wear nice clothes, things that flatter you. And when you continually wear clothes that flatter you, they make you feel good. So you feel good
Right.
inside, and by feeling good inside, you continue wearing clothes that flatter you. So all this is it's a circle, if you like, that perpetuates good confidence.
Well, that is great, and that is true. But I also watch you, and you are not into fads. Like this year fad is you just saw me a while ago. I've got this leopard shirt on and I've had it for 2.5 years and I hate it. And I really wear it around the house. I did wear it the other day, but I don't like it. Number one, I remember when my mother in the 50s, I remember people would wear leopard and my mother would just go, no, no, that's just not done. And I don't know what her reasoning was, but even now when I try it on and look at it, I go, no, that's just tacky. But so I noticed that you don't do a lot of fads. You really keep to the staples, to the basics.
Yes, so I teach to have an 80-20 capsule wardrobe. So 80% of classics and then 20% of trendy pieces, modern pieces, something that brings in a kind of breath of fresh air into your classic wardrobe. Because if your wardrobe is only classics, it's going to look a little bit too strict, too square, and as we grow older, maybe a little bit aging. So it's
Right.
good to have some like 20%. I think it works really, really good, 80-20. And that's something that we do in France. We do that, now and again, we're going to get something that, almost like a war piece.
Okay, so if I had on, let's just say I had on a black turtleneck sweater and a black pair of trousers, but if I did put like a little leopard belt with it, that would elevate it somewhat.
Exactly. That is
Yeah.
really good way to give a nod to the trend without
Okay.
buying the whole leopard outfit. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Right.
That's how we do
Right.
it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. What would you like to tell my viewers and my followers? Just one real big advice if they want to follow you and what they will really get from you.
Well, I can give the viewers the 3 French chic principles, and I call them the 3 pillars of French chic. I've named them like this because they really are the foundation of the French chic style. So if I would, for instance, describe French chic in one word, that would be simplicity. So if
Okay.
simplicity in mind, that they can't go far wrong in style. So the 3 pillars of French chic are: keep it simple, of course, less is more, and quality, not quantity. And
Right.
with these 3 guidelines in mind, when they go shopping or when they create an outfit, they can really embrace the French chic style.
Okay. I like that. And I like the less is more. Because sometimes even I will look and I will go, okay, I need this and I need that, especially with jewelry. You think, oh, I'm okay. Less is more. It's good. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And I'm so glad we got to meet up. And I don't want to take any more of your precious time, but I do think that this has been awesome. And I just want to tell you, it's been so nice talking to you because I followed you for so long and I still follow you. It's not like I don't still follow you because I notice you have live and every once in a while I'll try to be on there to see that. But it's just nice to be able to talk with you and see you in person. And thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Janice. It was a pleasure meeting you and chatting with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.